Okay, last week we left off in the dinim of doctors. So the Torah gives permission, like we said, Yirape, without that pasuk that doctors have, that you have to pay the doctor bills. Without the pasuk, we would think that you're not allowed to go to a doctor because the doctor is mixing into God's business. Hashem made the person sick and the doctor is making him healthy, so whatever. But the fact is, Torah gives permission for a person, for a doctor to heal. And therefore, you're not allowed to not go to a doctor. Halachically, it's forbidden if you need a doctor, because then it's two things. Then it shows you, number one, you're relying on a miracle, and who says you're deserving of it. And even if you are deserving, your merits are going to come off from it. So therefore, halachically, like we said, in halacha it says, the Gemara says, you're not allowed to live in a city where there's no doctor. Because naturally people come sick, and halachically you'd need a doctor. So therefore, a person should not be a show-off and think he doesn't need a doctor. And also, like we mentioned, halacha says you have to call the best doctor, even though it may not be the most religious person. But at least the patient is supposed to know that the doctor is not the one that's curing him. Hashem is healing him. It's just going through the doctor.
What if he goes to a small province where there's no city?
So then, you're not allowed to live in a city where there's no doctor. A province, you're not allowed to live in a place where there's no doctor. That's all. What?
Why, he's saying everything comes from Hashem, so why do we have to go to the best doctor although he's not where he is?
Because naturally, Hashem wants us to do things naturally. Naturally, a good doctor is better than not a good doctor. So we have to make the vessel the best doctor, best possible doctor, at the same time knowing that who's really healing us is not the doctor, it's really Hashem through the doctor. But a better doctor is a better vessel for that bracha from Hashem. Now, a doctor, on the other hand, and today, by the way, Poskim write, whoever gets a medical degree is considered an expert. But in Shulchan Aruch it says the doctors themselves have to be experts in their field, and if not, they're not allowed to practice medicine, and if they do, they're what's called shefer damim, they're murderers. Because if they don't know the medicine properly, so today again, everybody goes through licensing and, things, so you got degrees, so it's all specialties, so whatever. So then halachically today, they're considered experts in their field. But again, they should always, like it says in halacha also, there's a passage that says, Shua B'Rev Yoyitz, means it's always better to get different opinions. Doctors shouldn't hesitate to get a second opinion from somebody else, because again, two minds are better than one. They shouldn't think, okay, what they know and that's it, and all that. Okay, next is like this. There are certain things which are forbidden. Let's say forbidden food, right? So now the question is, if somebody who's sick, are they allowed to eat forbidden food? So if it's a life-endangering situation, God forbid, so there's no question that somebody would be allowed to do whatever it takes, except three things you're not allowed to do. You're not allowed to eat things that are connected to idolatry, adultery, and murder. Which means, if let's say, in the olden times, somebody worshipped a certain food, so that food now has a din of an idol worship. So it's also bano. So even with your life, even if your life is in danger, you're not allowed to eat that food. I'll tell you where this din is a very practical din, even in today. I'm saying if somebody worshipped that food, that word. He's not supposed to. But if somebody did. Okay. I'll tell you, want to hear what's more practical? Yeah. Okay, people go to these doctors, faith healers, and all those different types of doctors. I'm not saying a blanket statement, but most of them are rooted in Eastern religions, which is mamish, real Avodah Zarah. Real Avodah Zarah. So according to halacha, it's mamish forbidden, halachically, to go to any medical professional that works with Eastern medicine, with Eastern religions, with hocus pocus and all those. It's mamish, even to save a life, even to save a life, is one of the 3 cardinal sins you have to give up your life for: idolatry, adultery, and murder. So if they're healing you through Avodah Zarah, so then you're not allowed to do what? Acupuncture and chiropractoring. It's actually a physical thing.
Yeah.
It's not faith healing. Talk about faith healing, with the hocus pocus and the energies. You have to be very, very careful, by the way, with these energy doctors.
Some of them are very potent. Somatic.
What about eating herbs?
All I said was, it might be potent, but it's still, if it's a shaila of Avodah Zarah, you're not allowed to heal from them, even if your life is in danger. Now, there's a whole discussion in halacha about homeopathic. I'm not saying they're no good or good, but shaila is, according to halacha, must the person follow conventional medicine, or their conventional medicine, or alternative medicines? Now, alternative medicines, again, things which are proven to work according to Torah, it's a healing process. If it's not proven to work, it's just like these things,
Rituals.
whatever it may be, then a Jew wouldn't be allowed to go to them. What? No, I didn't say so. No, homeopathic is they just use herbs instead of Western medicine.
Even if the practitioner is very beautiful lady.
Yeah. Only you can go. You can
But
go.
what about amulets? Like you have, sometimes they use Torah.
Some people are not obligated to mitzvahs. So those people can
No,
go.
but some people that have amulets, or they have, different,
Amulets is a big shaila.
like, they have the names of Hashem in it.
Okay, so in Shulchan Aruch, in Hilchos Shabbos, it speaks about, in the other day also, in Hilchos Shabbos, it speaks about a person going out with a kameah. An amulet in Hebrew is called a kameah. In the Gemara and Shulchan Aruch, it's called kameah. Now there's what's called kameah mumcha, meaning a kameah from a great person that works, and there's a kameah she'ena mumcha, a kameah that's not necessarily. So kameah is not from a mumcha. You're not allowed to wear it on Shabbos because you're carrying. But you have to be very careful with all these different types of things. Now the question is, in a more practical level, a lot of medications are not kosher. There's non-kosher animal derivatives or whatever it may be. So the question is somebody allowed to take medication that's not kosher? So even in medications, you have different types of medications. You have pills that you swallow, which includes capsules, tablets, pills that you swallow. Then you have liquid medicine. Then you have chewables, and then you have powder. You have powdered medications. You mix it into a thing of water. Now, the best of them all, halachically, is the ones that you swallow. Why? Because it's not eating. You're not eating it. But it's not called derech achila. Liquid medicine, you mamish swallow. In fact, in halacha it says, if you take medication, it tastes good, you make a brach on it. Shahakol nir b'dvari. If it tastes bitter, you don't make a brach on it. That's what it says in Shulchan Aruch. What happens if it's neither, not good, not bad? So the poskim generally, the Alter Rebbe doesn't bring it down, but the poskim generally write that you make a brach on it, as long as it doesn't taste bad. But then you're talking about something that you're eating. That's a normal way of eating. Chewables, you're chewing. It's also like a chewable that you're eating it, or the same thing with powder. You mix it into a liquid and you drink it, so you're still drinking. So that's a much worse scenario of kashrus than if you're swallowing a pill. Then you have a lot of the homeopathic things that they're little pellets you put under your tongue, and it dissolves under your tongue. So now the question is that called eating or not? That's like not swallowing, but not eating. So what is that? Now, where are the issues with that? I'll give you a lot of examples. Many capsules today. So sometimes you can get a veggie capsule. Most of them are made from gelatin. Gelatin is mamish treif from a treif animal. Gelatin is treif from a treif animal. So the question is, can you take medicine in a gelatin capsule? Or a lot of the medications that you have today, even the simple ones, if you look in the ingredients, you'll have magnesium stearate, which is an animal derivative. Some medications you have, especially the homeopathic stuff, you have lactose in it, which is dairy. You have a lot of different things of pills that are really not kosher, but the question is, can you take them? So halachically, it says in halacha, bal nefesh is machmir, but halachically you're allowed to take them. You're allowed to take things. Why? Because I'm talking about the swallowing ones. Because you're not eating them.
This is medication, not supplements, right?
I'm talking about medication that somebody needs. I was going to get to supplements soon, but he brought it up already. But this is stuff that you medically need. You're sick, you need to take medication. What happens if somebody just likes to pop vitamins? Not they necessarily need them, but they want to take it. So if a doctor orders to take medication, then it becomes like a medicine, even though it's a vitamin. If it's not, the doctor doesn't say you need it, then really you should make sure. Again, I can't say it's forbidden because you're not eating it, but if you don't need it and it's not kosher, you should try to get kosher ones. What?
What about topical or injectable?
Okay. So medication that you inject, unless if it's something you cannot benefit from, like meat and milk together, I mean technically, if a vaccine medication, whatever, would have meat and milk together, or it would be something of Avodah Zarah, or it'd be something like that, then you wouldn't be allowed to inject it because you're still benefiting from it, which is forbidden. But if it's something normal that's tropical, like skin cream and all that, so there's a lot of issues with that. Number one, it's not edible for dogs. A dog is not going to eat cream. Okay? Even Pesach, that's why you're much more makel and creams even on Pesach, which is very strict, because it's not edible for dogs, and therefore it doesn't have a din of food, it doesn't have a din of chametz. So tropical creams, again, unless if it's...
No R, topical.
What?
Topical, no R.
Okay, topical, you're right, topical. Sorry, what?
Typical
Talk about a situation like insulin, which is made out of pig.
Okay, pig you're not allowed to eat, but you're allowed to benefit from. And therefore, if you get an injection from insulin, so there's two shit. First of all, you're allowed to benefit from it. It's not an issue. Secondly, diabetics technically could and possibly have a suffix pikuach nefesh that if they don't take the insulin, there could become a life-endangering situation. So then it wouldn't be an issue anyway. Okay, but because even a doubtful pikuach nefesh is allowed. Unless, again, if it's things of Avodah Zarah, technically, I mean, I don't know if you know, but football, you know what a football is? It's called a pigskin. Because officially the leather of a football is made from pigskin. You can have a pigskin belt, you can even have a pigskin kippah. Should I get you one?
Rabbi, doesn't it change when you change the formula of, let's say, something like that's not kosher and it goes through a process of changing?
It still remains not kosher.
But I'm saying, isn't there a certain percentage or are you changing it? I mean,
It doesn't change so much, by the way.
they're not making
It doesn't. So again, if it's something you swallow, it's not an issue. If it's something what?
Can a Jewish manufacturer of medication or supplements, can they lechatchila choose, or if they're working with someone, can they use the gelatin capsules, or do they have to be strict on?
Now, logically, they can definitely make gelatin capsules. Yeah.
So injections at IV could be tariff or wrong.
Could be treif, no problem. Not only that, take it a step further. If somebody has a feeding tube through the stomach, okay? So halachically, again, I'm not talking kabbalistically, but halachically, you can put non-kosher food in there because they're not eating it. You could benefit from it, okay? And the only sin is to eat it. So when you're not eating it, that's not called eating. Because eating is through the mouth, digesting it, swallowing it through the throat, and that process. But then otherwise, yeah, you would be allowed to. Okay,